Blackouts across Iraq, an Iranian warship torpedoed, and reports of a CIA plot to spark a Kurdish uprising. If you are struggling to keep up with what's happening right now, you're not alone. The pace of change is dizzying. So here's a summary of the last 24 hours in the war on Iran.
Only the United States of America could lead this, only us. But when you add the Israeli Defense Forces, the combination is sheer destruction.
أرادوها معركة يصلون فيها إلى أبعد الحدود ولن نستسلم.
Bölgemizin içinden geçtiği bu sıkıntılı günlerde hudutlarımızın ve hava sahamızın güvenliği noktasında işi asla şansa bırakmıyoruz.
Let's begin in Iran, where US and Israeli airstrikes have intensified for the fifth day in a row. A number of hospitals, schools, and cultural sites across the country have been hit as the scope of targets widens, with the death toll surpassing more than 1,000 people killed. But take a look here along Iran's border with Iraq, where we are seeing an intensification of bombing activity. There's a reason for this. We're now hearing reports that Iranian Kurdish forces are preparing a ground offensive against the government in Tehran. There's long been tension between them, but now the US and Israel appear to be trying to foment a rebellion in western Iran. We know US President Donald Trump spoke on the phone to the leader of the PUK in Iraq, and US media reports say he also spoke to the head of the KDPI, the Iranian counterpart. Whether there's been coordination with the CIA still hasn't been confirmed, but it does appear the US is focusing on IRGC sites here in western Iran, possibly to pave the way for a Kurdish insurgency. There are also signs of a widening conflict. Off the coast of Sri Lanka, a US submarine torpedoed an Iranian warship, killing 87 sailors. The frigate was returning from a naval drill off the Indian coast. More than 30 people were rescued off the ship by Sri Lankan authorities, but dozens are still missing. The US indicates it could continue to target Iranian vessels in international waters. Turkey has become the latest of Iran's neighbors to be dragged into the war. An Iranian ballistic missile headed for Turkey's airspace was intercepted by NATO air defenses in the country's east. It's unclear what the missile was targeting, but Turkey is a NATO member. And while both NATO and Turkey are reluctant to get involved, doing so could widen the geography of this war and potentially involve European powers. Moving to the Gulf, there have been sustained Iranian attacks, and in a rare sign of dialogue in this conflict, Qatar's foreign minister spoke to his Iranian counterpart for the first time. He criticized Iran for attacking civilian sites and rejected Iran's claims that only US interests have been attacked. That is, of course, in reference to the oil and gas sites in Qatar, in Saudi Arabia, and in the UAE that have been damaged, which Iran still denies targeting. But there's also the airports. Dubai, Riyadh, and Doha all have intercepted missiles, which have continued to shut down their airspace and leave thousands of travelers stranded. In Lebanon, fighting between Israel and Hezbollah continues in the worst escalation since the ceasefire in late 2024. The Israeli military has invaded several towns and villages in the south while ramping up bombings in Beirut. 75 people have now been killed since the conflict reignited and 83,000 forcibly displaced. And as the human toll mounts, many are asking where this all ends, not least in the US Senate, where efforts to curtail President Trump's war powers were voted down by Republicans. This is despite polls suggesting 3 out of 4 Americans are against the war, especially as no one in the White House seems to be ruling out the prospect US soldiers could be deployed on the ground. And with midterm elections coming up and political campaigning already underway, the pressure is mounting on Trump to justify exactly why he started this war and how he plans to end it. That's our wrap of Day 5. Stay with us on Al Jazeera for continued updates on the evolving US-Israeli war on Iran.